Hi, welcome to the What Did You Think episode 2
Episode 2. We made it. We were
of
greenlit
many
for a
more
sequel. We were
of,
greenlit for a
of,
sequel.
of many more. Me and Cameron doing some like off camera mining, like mining off camera.
Hmm.
We decided that
That's where I got those. That's where I got those.
what is
Yeah.
that?
That's the Minecraft amiibos.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
that's very cool.
Thank you.
Well, anyways, we've decided this is season 1. We
Yeah.
decided this a few seconds ago. Season 1, so each year is going to be a season. So like every great TV show that you can think of, just to name a couple: Breaking Bad, The Office. I only named a couple.
Right. Like
What'd
you
you
said,
think?
like you promised.
What'd you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah.
This is season 1, which is year 2022. Anyways, Cameron, you've got 20 questions that you can ask. All right. You're gonna guess the movie I saw today. Not the one that we're not doing not the one we're doing a review on,
Okay.
but I saw a movie today, and I
Okay.
want you to guess what it
I'll,
is.
I'll keep track of my questions
20
right here.
questions.
Okay.
20 questions,
Question number
yes or no
one.
questions.
Have you seen it already?
Yes.
Okay. When did it come out?
That's not a yes or no question.
You didn't give me a yes or no, though.
Maybe.
Still not a yes or no, but I'll
It
take
came
it.
out.
Okay, okay, there we go. Okay. Have I seen it that you know of?
No.
Okay. I'm really bad at coming up with questions. Um, um, would would you recommend that I watch it?
Uh I didn't care for it, but I will say this is a hint.
Hmm.
If you're above 30 years old and you're a parent, you probably really like this movie. It just came out this year.
Okay. Your parent
This is like a perfect movie for parents.
um
Like it just seems like these type of older people would be into
that
that.
came out this year. Huh. That really like that could be a lot of things.
Hmm.
Um, is it still in theaters?
No.
Okay. Is it a streaming service exclusive?
Yes.
Okay. Is that I have
You're getting
already I
somewhere.
have you been counting? I forgot to count.
I think you're at like 6.
I'm at 6. Is that streaming service Netflix?
Yes.
Okay. A Netflix original this year that parents would love. Um, I don't keep track, man. Oh, no. Um, is it a documentary?
No. That's
Is
7.
it family friendly?
Yes.
So when you said parents, you meant like they'd love to show it to their kids, or this speaks to parenthood,
Neither. I would just say like
old
I
people.
yeah.
Okay, the old elderly 30-year-olds in the audience.
Yes.
Yeah, cooped up in their nursing home, thinking about the
Yes.
90s.
Uh-huh.
Um, uh, um,
Those 90s were not nice to
yeah.
us.
uh, huh. I have no idea, man. I haven't been keeping track of Netflix originals.
You have 9 questions that you asked.
I know, I'm supposed to get to 20.
Yes.
Um,
All right. You can have a lifeline.
okay.
I name you a person from the cast.
Oh, I was just about to ask, yes or no, tell me somebody in the cast.
Um, obviously I can't say.
You could though.
Okay, I gotta go in. Helena Bonham Carter.
Can I get a redo and get someone that I know?
Do you not know who that is?
I actually don't.
Okay, it's the girl who plays Sirius or kills Sirius Black. She's also in Fight Club.
I've not seen
She's
Fight Club.
also in like every Johnny Depp movie.
Oh, okay. Okay. Is it Enola Holmes 2?
Yes, it is.
Let's go. I did
Congratulations,
not get it from
Cameron.
the actor. I got it because that's the only Netflix original that came out recently that I know of.
Uh, yeah. Red Notice came out.
That was
Um,
last
that was
month,
this year.
months ago.
Uh,
Enola Holmes was recent.
Enola Holmes was recent, and
You said it
you
wasn't the
know,
first time you've seen it.
no, it definitely was.
I asked, had you seen this before? Oh wait, and then you said no. Okay, that makes more sense.
Okay. Um, mind you, I haven't seen the first one. I just kind of was curious
Okay,
on what the second one was.
sure.
Um, it didn't make me want to watch the first one. So yeah. Uh, I watched Enola Holmes too, and it was fine.
What'd you think of that? Of that?
Uh,
What did you
you
think?
know, it's a movie.
Is it good?
I think it's fine. It's corny. Uh, but it's just at the end of the day, it's like, you know, 2 hours, and I'm like, oh, I watched Enola Holmes too.
I just think it's interesting that you watched that out of everything you could have watched. Of everything that I've asked you to watch, that is what you
Well,
chose.
okay, mind you, at work when I'm watching movies, it's like on my phone. So
Hmm.
it's something that like I don't have to pay serious attention to because mind you, I was editing an episode today whilst watching it. So
Whilst,
uh yeah, whilst
yeah,
we have big vocab here. Cameron, you know what movie we watched,
I do
right?
because I watched it.
Yeah. And we watched, speaking of two great friends, um, that like each other sometimes. We watched The Banshees of Inisherin, which I'm sorry, I hit my microphone. Watched The Banshees of Inisherin. All right, it's directed, but I should have had this ready.
I have it
Martin
up. I have it up.
McDonagh.
Yeah.
He made the three billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri. Which, have you
Which
seen
I
it?
want to see that. I want to see that so
I
bad.
really like it. Frances McDormand's really great in it. And like Woody Harrelson's the type of actor for me to like watch something and me real and say like audibly like, oh, Woody Harrelson's in this. Like
For the longest
he's
time, I thought that Woody Harrelson and Michael Rooker were the same person.
yes.
I thought
Oh,
that
okay.
Yondu was
I'm
played by Woody
so glad
Harrelson
I'm not
for
the only one because
I.
they
You want
are
to know when I
alike.
learned that it wasn't Woody Harrelson?
When
In game.
really?
Yeah,
No shot.
he's not even in game, and that's when I found out.
That's so funny. Okay,
Yeah.
because I've always said that. I've always thought that. So my first Woody Harrelson movie was The Hunger Games,
Me
and
too.
like Haymitch, is such a fun character that everyone loves because
Right.
he's a drunk and you just kind of feel bad for him. Have you read the books?
I've I've read the first one and the third one,
I
and I
I
own all of them,
I
including
think
the
Catching
the new
Fire
one.
is the best book in my opinion.
Well, I wouldn't know.
I haven't. Okay, so I remember liking the movies. Like teen dystopians were like popping off. I think the Divergent movie was like the one of the best teen dystopians.
Hmm.
And then I also liked a lot of the Maze Runners. I think I actually liked all of them. I also haven't seen it in like probably close to 5 to 7 years. So, you know, but I remember being like really into those. I know they made The Giver and stuff like that. I just wasn't. I don't know. I don't know how you were with the teen dystopians, but Woody Harrelson being in Hunger Games, bro. I don't know what about his miserable life in the Hunger Games made me want to be him when I grew up. But I kid you not. I kid you not. I'm like watching this with my parents. I'm like, some people would say like freaking Gale. Like, yeah, I would like to be Gale. He's like good looking. He's a baker. Um,
PETA. No, PETA's the baker.
okay, who's Gale?
Gale is her original boyfriend,
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Thor's brother.
Well, okay. He was dating J Law, and
Yeah,
then she ended up dating a baker boy.
named
Um,
PETA. Holy
and
crap, Katniss! I won the Hunger Games. that's from that's from the Hunger Games.
yeah, it's
Um,
from.
I've been meaning to
Anyways,
rewatch those because they're making a new one.
yeah, it's coming out next year.
Which I got the book for the new one, which is actually a prequel for
I
Christmas a year ago.
wait.
I have not
There's
read
a
it.
prequel. Who's it
Yeah,
about?
it's about President Snow.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
I don't care. I'm
Um,
sorry. No,
okay, no, that's
I do
fine.
care. I am kind of like I'm excited for it to see like because this is a teen dystopian coming out after the teen dystopian age. So
Right.
I'm gonna see how good it is. I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah. I have to be real actually right now during the
All right.
podcast. This is
Let's be
crazy.
real. Let's be
Ah,
real.
yeah, that's great.
That was entertaining for both the visual and audio listeners.
For everyone.
Yep.
Anyways, the Banshees of Inisherin. It
Let me say the
stars.
cast. I'll say the cast. You said the director. Let's take turns.
Yeah.
Uh, it's starring Colin Farrell, Brendan Gleeson, Kerry Condon, and Barry Keoghan. I pronounced all of them correctly.
Yes, you
Colin Farrell,
did.
you might know from The Batman as the Penguin, among other things. Brendan Gleeson from Harry Potter. Uh, Kerry Condon is one of Iron Man's many AIs, and then Brendan Keoghan is in a lot of stuff recently.
Yeah.
So
Most known for his role in Eternals.
most known for his role cut out of the Batman. So
He's still in the Batman.
yeah, but I mean, is he though?
Anyways, so what'd you think?
Uh, well, it was. You know what? I think me and you disagree a little bit more on this movie than we did of others. I think this is just okay.
Okay. And after giving it like about 24 hours to fully sit with me, I really love this movie. I
Yeah,
think this is pretty fantastic. It's very simple, and I think that's why I love it so much. It deals with just these two people. That this is not a spoiler. This is the synopsis. It just deals with two very good like best friends, and all of a sudden one of them decides not to be another one's friend, and now they're both trying to
deal with
deal
that.
with that.
Right.
And that's honestly what it is. I mean, I'm sure there's hidden meanings with throughout it, but on the surface it's very simple, and I love it. I think it's so beautiful. It takes place in a little place called Inisherin, which I believe they mentioned it's from like it's near Ireland during the
It's an
Civil War
island
time.
off the coast of
Yeah,
yeah. Not
it's
American Civil War. There are other Civil Wars.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. uh my bad.
No, you're good.
Abraham Lincoln on the other side.
Abraham Lincoln, who still is not being canceled since the last episode.
We checked. He's okay.
Yeah.
Um, no, but it's beautiful. It really is. And it's a dark comedy for sure. Uh,
Yeah, it's a
uh
dramedy.
it is a dramedy. And I think like as far as my issues go with it is that, well, I probably shouldn't get into details yet, but
I mean, you
uh
can kind of surface level talk about stuff.
I think pacing is kind of a big issue with this.
Yeah.
And it's a short movie. It's like not even 2 hours. I feel like this movie would be fine as like an hour and a half. Even
I mean,
but
yeah.
I think its pacing definitely has some issues. But other than that, also I have hearing loss, and this is one of like so Robert Eggers is a director that directs American movies that I need subtitles for because I can't understand what anyone's saying. And I felt the same way with this. Everyone has such a thick accent,
Yeah.
and it's like I still don't know what the lead's name is because I thought it was Podrick, I thought it was Prodick, I thought it was like Poder,
It
whatever.
is Padrake.
Well,
Padrake. I don't know, man.
either way, I I just couldn't understand it. But that's just me being like, not necessarily the smartest when it comes to like listening composition.
Right.
But yeah, well, I mean, what about you? So what did you actually think? I mean, I am
So
curious because we didn't really talk about this a lot.
I didn't know anything going into it. It wasn't necessarily on purpose. If I am interested in something, I'll try to go into it as blind as possible. But with this, I just kind of nothing. I didn't have to try to avoid it because I nothing came up about it. But so I went in completely blind. I actually, in my mind, had mixed up the plot, like the synopsis of Empire of Light with this. So I thought this was going to be a movie about movies.
Seriously?
Yeah, I caught on pretty
Oh,
quickly that it wasn't.
oh
But
yeah. Well, because you lean over to me because we're watching this together, and he's like, this is not at all how I thought it was gonna be. I was like, I mean, yeah, me too, because I went in blind as well.
Mhm.
But I knew it was like a dark comedy. Like I knew it was something about
I did not know it
friends.
was comedy at all. I didn't know anything. Literally, I didn't even know how to
That's so
pronounce
funny.
the title going into the movie. And
None of us do.
so the way it felt is it I'm left off with a feeling very similar to just kind of like back when studio comedies used to be about a lot more prevalent. You get stuff like Daddy's Home or like Instant Family,
Yeah.
like a Mark Wahlberg comedy. It's better
Mm.
than those, but I feel the same. And
It's much better than Daddy's Home.
it whoa, okay. I don't need the
Daddy's
Daddy's Home
Home
hate.
is like
I don't need the Daddy's
such
Home
an
hate. All right.
overrated comedy.
Oh my goodness. All right. We'll talk about that in the Daddy's
What
Home
do you
episode.
like the
We'll,
scene where Will Ferrell pulls out his shalong? Oh gosh.
um oh okay. We'll talk about Daddy's Home in our Daddy's Home episode coming in 2025. Okay.
It's
But
season 3.
sure. But I was left with the same feeling was like, "Oh, I enjoyed this viewing experience. I'm probably not going to think about it that much though." But
Mhm.
it is definitely if when you're actually watching it, it feels a lot better, and it is a lot better, and there is a lot more care put into it, and there is a lot of dramatic stuff. But my overall last impressions of it is just like that was fun, and then that's where it ends.
I oh, I mean, I still disagree though. I think that like okay, I do think this movie is overrated. I've been looking at a lot of other people's reviews, and they say they're in love with this. Okay, I really like this a lot. I'm a big fan of it, but um, it's just so makes me wonder why people love it as much as they do. I haven't read any reviews. I kind of just like look at the stars on Letterboxd and just kind of gauge what people are telling or gauge what people are thinking. And the way I figured is that uh I'm starting beef with some Letterboxians, but
Oh,
I think they kind of just listen to what their like their um the famous people say, and then that's
uh,
what they kind of go with.
maybe I can see how this could be so beloved. I just don't beloved it.
I think it's so complimented by its performances with Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson. Oh, I think everyone in this is exceptional. I think Barry Keoghan Kogan,
Sure.
whatever. I think he's great. I love him in this. Same with is it Connie? Is that what you said her name was?
Con Carrie
Carrie. Carrie Condon. Condon.
Condon.
Carrie Condon.
Carrie Condon.
She's also incredible in this. I
She
see
is my
these
favorite character in the movie.
I see these both performances getting nominations, and maybe
Yeah.
Brendan Gleeson getting one for supporting as well. I just don't think Colin doesn't do much here to get a to I feel like catch an eye of the Academy. But and I know we were kind of talking about this a little bit yesterday, where I still think this is going to get a lot of nominations. Uh and
Maybe.
I think it is. I think it's such an artistic period piece, and I think that we know what they like period pieces. Okay, I think this fits in well with like the movies that are going to be getting nominated, like the Fablemans and stuff like that, where it's such an it's it's a period piece, and it's about at the end of the day it's about love. you know
Sure.
I would say so. Wouldn't you say so about relationships?
Uh, I I don't I can't really talk about what I think it's about spoiler free. So we can get into
That's
that
fair.
later.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm
But
sorry.
my more in-depth opinions kind of have spoilers in them.
I
So
see.
that's really all I can say as
Mhm.
of right now is that I thought it was okay. I enjoyed watching it. It didn't leave much of an impression on me, and the performances were good. And Carrie as Siobhan was my favorite character.
Mhm. She's mine as well. I like her a lot. I think the score is fine. I like it a lot. It's simple. It's kind of the same thing. I don't really notice anything very different from it. And I know I know Sarah cried at this. Did
Really?
you? Did you get emotional during this at all?
I got emotional, but I didn't get. I got sad once, but not enough to cry, obviously. Most of what I felt was very much not sadness. Um, I was very strongly feeling different emotions.
Okay.
Yes. Um, so what about you?
I did not cry. Um I was sad for some of it. Okay, so I did mention last episode I'm a very emotional person when it comes to watching movies, and um, so I I'm a big friendship guy. Okay, so it pains me to see when people friends are drifting apart
Hmm.
because it's happened to me before, and it is something that does just happen, and
It is a very
uh,
relatable concept. Yeah.
yeah, it is, and it's no matter your age, you really can relate to it, which is another thing I do like about it because I think it's a very accurate depiction on uh friendship and relationships, and I can't really say why as far as like spoilers go.
Right.
Um, my dog's on my lap, so
It's not there's not a lot to spoil, but with movies like that, everything is a spoiler. It's kind of
exactly.
weird like that.
So as if I feel like we've kind of covered all we can. I mean, editing was fine. You know, I
Yeah,
didn't have any issues with it. Writing is fine. Oh,
it's kind of I can see what you're saying where it's kind of greater than the sum of its parts and where nothing stands out as exceptional, but it all comes together pretty well. I just think that you see the final product a little bit better than I do. I think it's just okay.
well, with that being said, uh, as far as our just thoughts about it before we go into the spoilers, I'm a big fan of this. Um, and as we're kind of talking about it, I feel like I'm more of a fan on how it makes me feel and how I kind of relate to this a little bit. And
Mhm.
I feel like I'm letting that kind of get into my way of rating it as a movie. But thankfully, we don't do numbers here, so
Right.
I'm just saying I do really enjoy it. Will I revisit it? I will probably revisit it. Especially if it does get nominated for Best Picture, I would like to see it again.
Right. That's really the
Um,
only reason I would.
yeah, but not that I don't like it.
So this is the cutoff point where we're now going to start getting into spoiler stuff. So if you are still wanting to see this and you don't want to know what happens, go watch it and then come back and then you'll find out. What did you think, Ben? See what I
Yeah.
did.
Okay, that was incredible. I am amazed by your ability
Me
to
too.
flow within the conversation.
Hmm.
Also, hold on. Can we just point out the hat on you right now? I didn't
Yeah.
notice it. I thought it was your hair.
Really?
Yes, I did.
I
Like, not no, not. I mean, obviously, I didn't think your hair said Penske, but I was more like, I mean, I did the hat first, for the video.
yeah.
So, but I will
Um
join you. I will join you.
okay. I just hadn't done my hair. So
I think it's mainly also we're kind of self-conscious about the headphone dent.
oh, I don't care.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I do. I have to go
I
outside
mean, would
now.
you rather audio listeners, you're gonna have to describe this for them. But would you rather me do like this?
Cameron just took off his hat and at least a foot of hair dropped down, golden, waving in his wind as it's
In
dipping
my
into his
wind, in my
as
own personal
as
wind.
it's dipping into his minion's popcorn bucket right now. Um, yeah, no. So, like Cameron said, this is some spoilers that we're gonna be talking about. Uh, if you care, you know, whatever. You've been warned. This is your only warning. So, Cameron,
Yeah.
uh, kick us off with a spoiler. Just say one.
All right.
Uh,
How many fingers am I holding up? None.
oh,
None.
see here, guys. The joke is
None.
that a guy cuts off his fingers. No,
Yeah.
which that's
No,
true.
that's true.
So within this friendship, of this movie.
Right. Like we should go a little bit more in depth into kind of what happens in the movie.
Yeah. So this guy, we don't know how long they've been friends. We can assume it's been quite a while.
Hmm.
They both, at least one, Colin Farrell's character, is very fond and just really likes Brendan Gleeson's character. Okay, and we can tell just through like exposition and just them talking that they used to be best friends. And all of a sudden, literally, all of a sudden,
Genuinely, all of a sudden, the movie starts with just a regular day, and we can tell by people's reactions how sudden it is. All of
uh,
a sudden.
he decides that he doesn't want to be his friend anymore. Brendan
Mhm.
Gleeson doesn't want to be his friend, and literally the reason is because like he just doesn't think, you know,
He's bored with him.
yeah,
He's bored with him.
he's an
Well, first of all,
uninteresting
he's
man.
bored with him, and second of all, he wants to make something of his life. He wants to leave an impact. He wants to be remembered, and that's what he starts talking about. At the start of the movie, the first half, maybe even first three quarters, two-thirds, the reason he gives is, you are preventing me from leaving a legacy, and I don't want to be forgotten. But throughout by decisions he makes throughout the movie, we realize that's not really why.
Hmm.
It's just because he was bored with them.
He's an old man,
Yeah.
and he sees. I've seen what I've kind of thought was maybe for Colin Farrell's sake, he's trying to end this relationship because this guy is much older than he is, and he sees how his life is going, and he says maybe if he disconnects himself from him, maybe you could say like maybe he really does care for him after all. That's not explained,
You
but I'm
could, but
just
you would be
saying
very wrong if you said that. You could say that, but you would be very incorrect.
I don't think so because the guy's a baby. Like the guy is legitimately like
The
just
old guy is a baby. He's a
yeah.
wah wah boo boo, kissed me on my hurt
He
hand baby.
literally says next time you come up and talk to me, I will cut off my fingers. And I mean, as a result, he cuts off his fingers because this guy wants to be still be friends with him. Which, okay, Cameron, we're pretty good friends, I would say.
Yeah.
We've seen each other naked. We
No,
um, you've seen me naked, and it's
that's
just,
probably more close to accurate.
uh, um, we're good friends. And if I said, Cameron, I don't want to be your friend anymore. I leave. I don't talk to you at all. All right. And I mean, would you follow me after what you've seen? Or like, would you try
Um,
to
well, I
just
would be confused. I would want to know a reason why, and
exactly? And the old
that's
man's
really where it
so
comes
like
from.
stubborn on not giving
And
him a
it's not, he's not even as courteous as to tell him.
yeah.
He
Like
just ignores him until he can't anymore.
so it is frustrating. And like I
That's
said,
why when you were asking if I got emotional, I did, but I was not sad. I was not sad until one moment, but I was very, very, very angry and
yeah,
frustrated throughout.
that was me a little bit. It was um more. I'm not getting personal at all here, okay? I'm not mentioning anybody, but uh me of stories I've told you. I have friends, and some of them I have to cut off, and
Mhm.
some of them I don't want to cut off, but especially nowadays with like just we're getting older, you know we're becoming more adult. I got married, you know what I mean? I'm having to
I got a
I'm
minion bucket,
he's got a minion bucket and his Minecraft amiibos.
right. I have a lot to deal with.
But we've and maybe this could just be us, like, because we both graduated high school at a similar time. All right. I'm 20, you're 19.
19. Yeah.
So we're fresh to this adult life, okay? And it's like those friends that you're so used to spending so much time with in high school, literally every single day. There's probably four or three of them that I'm constantly connected to. And
Hmm.
we went to a private school, so we didn't have a lot of kids in our class. But so versus like other, people
Which
that
actually would make those relationships closer because there's not as
exactly,
many people.
yeah, and
And
it's
even
sad.
then, it is sad. I mean, I'm going to my core friend group from my time at school. We're gonna go out to eat in a couple days, and
Yeah.
that will be the first time I've actually like interacted with them on
Mhm.
an actual like meaningful level since graduation.
There's probably been several kids I haven't seen in at least a year.
Hmm.
Uh, that I used to be very close with. And one
Hmm.
of them was a SoundCloud rapper.
Hmm.
So, I mean, he's probably making it big now, but
Hmm.
no, he's not
And that is
actually.
Eminem,
You may know him as Eminem. Others may know
Slim
him as Eric
Shady,
Andre,
right?
but uh,
James Charles,
Jamie
J-
Charles. You may
James
know him as
Charles.
James Corden, but
You might, again, another instance where you'd be very incorrect, but but
um,
to,
yeah,
to kind of
no.
wrap it
So
back around, losing friendships isn't uncommon,
right,
but yeah,
it happens. It
it
happens.
happens,
You know,
but not
and
necessarily like the way it does in this movie.
yeah, like I've not had a friend. Well, like I was saying, Cameron, if you were to come up to me and be like, "Hey, why aren't we friends anymore?" I would tell you. I would tell you. I'm more of a confrontational person. I'm more like
Mhm.
I will just tell you if like I think you're annoying. I know it's a flaw. It can be.
It
Okay.
can be depending on your delivery, but there
Right.
is a level of
But
communication that is
I
not
will
only
never go
expected,
to the
but
level to
like,
cause physical harm to my own body because you're talking to me. Okay. Especially with them living on Inisherin, which is legitimately a small island where
right,
they like throughout the movie, they just walk by each other all the time. Like
right.
it's not like with like Indiana, like, you and me live like maybe 30 minutes away from each other. Maybe
Hmm.
like 20.
Hmm.
It'd be easy for us to like avoid each other. But the fact that they live like right next to each other practically,
Right,
like they're very
right.
close. They have the same schedule in which they go to the pub. Like it is it's terrible. No, I'm with you though with that aggravated feeling. It is. And
It's he straight up just doesn't answer him at all. And when he's asking for explanations, he tries to avoid it, and then when he gets aggravated enough, that's when he starts to go off and like, oh, I don't like you, you're boring, I want to leave an impact, all that stuff. And it, that is obviously the point. This guy being stubborn is the point. They're not trying to make him reasonable, but there is very obviously a reasonable way to go about cutting someone out of your life.
right. Um yeah, and he like ditches his friend so he can take a career in music.
Mhm.
Hashtag tar moment. Am I right?
That's my
Uh
favorite hashtag. I have a list and that's on top.
um yeah, he because I know you're all wondering where does the title come into play? Are there actually banshees and Inisherin?
We thought so
We thought so.
until they it's revealed that the Banshees of Inisherin is the title of the musical piece that Colm, which is the mean guy, he works on in place of being a friend of this guy. Um,
And it sounded all right.
yeah, it's fine, but like so it starts off with this premise that he's cutting him off because he wants to better himself, he wants to develop as a person, which if done properly isn't necessarily a bad reason to stop
Right.
interacting with someone. But we quickly learn that's not entirely true, because the way he decides to go about making an example of how serious he is cutting off his fingers, which gets rid of his ability to play and make music.
Yeah, it's hypocritical of him, okay? Like
Hmm.
he himself is also getting in the way of his craft.
Hmm.
Of I mean, but also and Cameron, it could be a thing where you and me just don't understand this. You know what I mean?
That is an option, yeah, a
So
possibility.
like this is like kind of shaped.
I can tell that there is that it gets a lot more obvious, especially in the last couple minutes, where they are trying to make a point, and hey, you see how like how needlessly poorly handled this is, and you see how they are both egging each other on throughout the movie. You see how this conflict could be settled in a different way and isn't like smart. They
Mhm.
tie that into the Civil War that is the backdrop, where at the end of the movie they don't hear the gunshots that they have been throughout the movie, and they're like, hey, maybe they stopped for good. And he's like, oh, they'll always keep finding reasons to keep fighting. They don't even need a good one. As long as they're fighting, they'll, you know, as long as there is a reason, they'll keep it up. And like they come like there's this realization that the fighting that's been going on is kind of purposeless. Maybe there was a reason at the start, but it's being egged on, and it's being it's being worsened for no good reason.
Yeah, well said, Cameron. Well said.
Thank you.
Um, and I mean, there is the sad scene of the donkey
There is a
dying
donkey.
because he choked on Combs' fingers.
Yeah.
Um,
There's this
Sarah
donkey that the
was
main
destroyed.
character is basically ever like his bestest friend since his real best friend is left. He just really loves this donkey. And I remember thinking, like, you know, when since his best friend's gone, and over the course of the movie, his sister, best part of the movie, that's why we haven't talked about her yet, his sister um moves away. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
I wonder if this is going to go in a more suicidal way. Maybe he'll wait for the donkey to die and then he'll kill himself. And I was like, but that'll give him a couple of years. And then he walks in and finds the donkey's corpse. And it's so
Choking on
sad.
a finger.
That's the
Yeah,
most intense performance, is when he's crying over his donkey.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
You said
It's
Sarah cried at that?
Yeah, she did. Well, because I told Karen I've never been emotionally attached to a donkey before until this movie. Because oh dude, it sucks, man. I mean,
Right.
pets suck, dude. Like,
Mhm.
and as of course, you know, like in the hit movie Vengeance, he wanted to get vengeance, and he basically straight up tells Colm that he's gonna set fire to his house, make sure your dog's outside. Um, but yeah, if you're in or out,
Mhm.
Spider-Man. But yeah, and I mean he sets fire to the house. The dog is alive, and oh, he looks in the window and he sees the old man in there, but he walks away, leaving the old man to die. But like, oh, Cameron, guess what though?
What happened?
The old man's not dead.
Oh my goodness.
He got out,
He
apparently.
got out, which
Um,
extends the fighting. They
yep,
say this would have been over if you died in the house, but since you didn't, we're not done.
yep,
Um, and I think since we've kind of gone over the main stuff, we could touch a little bit on the side characters
right.
for a bit.
Um, I I mentioned before, I'm a big fan of Barry,
Hmm.
Keoghan, Keegan, Kagan, Coggin,
Barry
Barry,
K.
Barry K.
Yeah.
Um, he plays such a goofball role.
Hmm.
Um, and I haven't seen him in something like that. I've seen him always as like, honestly, I've only seen him in like Eternals, and
And
like
Batman.
and Batman. So, I remember loading up like the killing of the sacred deer, uh,
Mhm.
and then I paused it because I had like used the restroom or something, and my ADHD ended up making me like making myself dinner and like
Right.
playing video games and going to sleep. And I'm like, oh, my rent's up. I can't pay it now. Like I rented it for the day and it's been like 2 days. I can't watch it now. So
Right.
that happens a lot more than I wish to admit. Like the most recent time, dude, I can't believe this. We rented Birdman because we just watched La La Land. I was like, babe, we should watch Birdman. It reminds me so much of it. I think we'd have a great time. I rent it like $3 to rent. I load it up. I'm like, babe, I might play some Overwatch. And I just go over and I hop on Xbox. And like 2 days pass. And I'm like, oh man, we never got to watch it. So yeah, that's
That's
anyways
crazy. You
with
should have told
Barry.
me, because I would have watched it. I would have come to your house and watched it, even if you weren't there. I
Right.
watched it with
You
your
should
dog.
have. I want you to see it.
I want
It's
to
a
see
great.
that so bad.
It's so good, dude. Well, anyways,
Yeah.
Barry Kay is pretty fantastic in it.
Hmm.
I think I'm smiling every scene he is on. And there's actually a very like emotional scene between him and Shaban where
Yeah.
he just asks her out, and she says no, of course, but
Right.
I think that was the most like real we really did see him in the whole movie, and it was great. It really was. And I think
Mhm.
that their chemistry in that scene, and honestly in the whole movie, any scene that they are in, is just really fantastic because he is trying to get with her like the whole movie, and
Right.
she is obviously not into it at all. She hates
Hmm.
him, like is
And
disgusted by him.
it comes at a perfect time in the movie too, which I think that's part of the reason she decides to leave, not because she is so disgusted she has to go away, but because she realizes she's better than Inisherin lets her be.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
if the only recognition she gets of her, it like, because she's like probably the smartest character in the movie. This movie is full of idiots, and she's the smartest character in the movie. And if the only recognition she gets from that is the town drunk asking her out, she should probably move.
Right.
So,
So yeah.
mhm.
Um, I think I'm good. Do you have anything else to add?
uh, I thought the guy's hand, when it didn't have any fingers, looked like a piece of ginger, like all warped and like, you
It
know,
looked pretty gross, man. It looked pretty
weird.
gross. It was
Uh-huh.
it was dripping blood while conducting the band.
Hmm.
Like, bro, take a break. Take
Yeah.
a break. Hey, our son is pretty great.
Hmm.
Come away with us for the summer. Let's go into Sharon and Assurin.
Hmm.
Anyways, that was just a little bit of Hamilton for you guys. Don't
Yeah.
worry, there's much more to come.
There is much more to come after we finish talking about this movie.
Okay.
I was gonna, yeah.
So what else do you have to add?
I think I'm good.
I think I am good as well.
It's fun. It's a lot funnier than I was expecting it to be. And that's about it.
Yeah. Not like we said, there's not much going on here. Okay.
It's very
So
simple. It's very simple. Not a bad thing. It's
not
just
a bad thing.
it is
No.
what it is.
I think it's better than Tar.
If that's our standard, if that's our our bar to cross, if the tar bar is what we're going after,
Hard bar.
it's better than tar.
If it's the Bart,
Tarb.
that was dumb.
Hmm.
Anyways, yeah, Cameron, as usual, as we've just grown so accustomed to making these,
As we've done every time.
as we've done every time. Thank you. Ouch. Thank you for 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 helping out. What do you got going on? Anything? You want to plug anything? You've
Yes,
got your
I would like to plug um the novel adaptation of The Force Unleashed 2 that I
what?
got at Half Price Books. I have the first game's book as well, but I am currently using that to prop up my laptop, so I cannot pull it out.
Dude,
But
that's crazy.
if you okay, we have two ways you can listen to this podcast. You've probably, if you're hearing me say this, you've found one of them, but maybe not the other. You can either listen to it on Spotify or you can watch it on YouTube. If you want that audio visual stimulation, watch it on YouTube. If you want that purely audio stimulation, watch it on Spotify. If
And we'll be going to Apple Podcast pretty soon.
no
Along
way.
along with some other podcast websites. Also, Cameron, we
Mm,
don't have a sponsor. So, but no,
I'm very shocked.
yeah, I know. I too am very shocked.
We couldn't be sponsored by my brother. I can show you the birthday card he got me because it was my
Mm,
birthday the
yeah.
day before we were
Okay, it was
recording
your birthday
this.
yesterday.
As of the recording this, it was my birthday yesterday.
And I am very apologetic, okay, that I did not wish you happy birthday on the video.
Hey, well, if it makes you feel better, the video probably won't come out till later.
But
So
still, I should have wished you happy birthday.
it's okay. It's okay. I kind of forgive you.
Okay.
Anyway, here's the birthday card. Um, this is the front. Go ahead and
Nice.
describe it for our audio listeners.
So this looks like a light blue
Yeah.
card.
Hmm.
The corners are not corners. They're cut in like a roundish shape. So
Right.
it's like a round square.
Right.
And like centered at the top of the page is a bright yellow ball with like a smiley face written on it. It looks
Yeah.
like one of those like foam balls. And it's like a smiley face written in Sharpie.
Yeah. And what does it say? It doesn't say anything,
Nothing.
does
It
it?
doesn't
Doesn't
say
say.
anything. There's no
Well,
words
good
on it.
thing there's an inside.
I was about to say, I don't know how you guys are not gonna believe this. He just opened the card, and on the inside is a white page. So that first page I described where I mentioned that circle face? It was actually a hole that was cut,
Mm-hmm.
and the real smiley face is on the second page,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all white.
Mm-hmm. What does it say though?
Nothing. There's no
Oh my,
word.
you're right. It doesn't say anything at all. Thank you, Eli, for sponsoring my birthday.
I love that. That's amazing. Well, uh, that was it. Should we read our sponsors? Okay. All right, Cameron. Thank you so much
Yep.
for being a part of this. I'll be doing this bit until we actually get a sponsor. So
So probably forever.
probably forever.
Yep.
Yeah. Check out our letterboxed in the
Mm-hmm.
letterboxed. Check out
Mm-hmm.
our letterboxed accounts in the description of this. Give us a follow. Also check out my Instagram, which is what did you think reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron does not help out with that. That
I
is
I don't, but that's where you can see Ben stuff if you don't want to go to Letterboxd.
yeah, I put some stuff there. Those are my thoughts that I write out, but recording is so much easier. So
Mm-hmm.
I might just be doing this. But yeah. Also check out Cameron's house at
No, see, you
check out Cameron
that
at
happened last time. That happened last time. We're not
oh
gonna let that
yeah.
happen again.
We're not doxing ourselves. We're
Yeah.
not. Okay, actually, should we say the next movie?
Dude, I didn't know we had picked.
Yeah, we have. We're seeing it soon.
But
It's
like that,
stars on
that's not necessarily the one we're talking about next.
well, okay. Either way, um the girl and the whale, Hong Chow, is also in that.
Really?
Yeah. So the more you
Okay.
know. Anyways, we're recording this late at night, so I'm tired. I'm going to bed. So good night,
All right.
Cameron.
Good night, Ben, and good night, everyone at home.
Good night, everyone at home. You have a splendid